Welcome back to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. We are on episode 3 already. Welling's here, Ryan's here, Bryce is here. What up, fellas?
Hi.
Hey, we want to thank you for being a part of the show and my patrons, our patrons. We love you. Patreon.com/Talkville. We've got a new tier in the Patreon because we're only, we have, who knows how long we're going to do this, but it's the grand tier. And there's a lot of special things, viewings with me and Tom and this and that, and signed piece of something that no one has, all that. There's a lot of good stuff. So join Patreon. Also, my fart book is still around, The Talented Farter. It's been out for a month or two, and it's a great gift, any time of the year. So go to Amazon. It's a sound book. It's my farts, The Talented Farter. Worked hard on it. And Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. You can get it on Amazon. It's for your dog's fresh breath, and it works, and I do it all the time. So get that on Amazon. We got the cruise coming up in June. So if you haven't booked your tickets, get on Cruiseville. Go to cruiseville.com, and you can do excursions with me and Tom, swimming with pigs with me. Tom does some art, ATV riding. There's just so many fun things we do, and there's a Smallville night, so get tickets to Smallville nights. And also, we're doing a Chicago Creation Con, if you didn't make it New Jersey and Parsippany, you got to make the Chicago one in September of next year. It's awesome. It's just Smallville.
Also, the Smallville nights on the cruise is going to be epic. We have everybody there. It's going to be surprising.
If you didn't get a chance to call into our hotline, leave a question for the episode. Make sure you do for future ones. All that is in the show's description. And we appreciate all your love. And if you go to talkvillepodcast.com, you can get tons of cool merch. And also on Inside of You online store, my other podcast, you can get some other Smallville merch. So how about that? We are ready to rock and roll. Let's talk about this episode. Without further ado, let's get into season 6, episode 3. This is called Wither. All right, title Wither. Aired October 12th, 2006. Director Whitney Rancic. Writers Tony Bellomo, never heard of her or him. Guest star Aaron Ashmore as Jimmy Olsen, Amber McDonald as Gloria, and Justin Hartley as Oliver Queen. Synopsis: a murderous forest hits too close to home when Chloe tries to get a scoop on the story, forcing Clark to take out one of his fellow countrymen and elevate his tensions with former bestie Lex Luthor. This episode opens with lovers out at Makeout Lane. Jimmy Olsen and Chloe are undercover trying to catch a scoop. As Jimmy tries to catch a feel, Chloe tells him to pump the brakes, which is weird because she says the line, it's Makeout Lane, and we aren't making out, where people are supposed to make out. So then I thought that's an insinuation, make a move, dude. And then he makes the move, and she's like, whoa. And I'm like, what was that? Did you guys catch that?
Yeah. It's sort of a false flag. Have you ever been to a makeout spot like that?
Sure. Not like where there's a lot of other people, just a hidden gem,
Did you guys in high school have a spot that
you knew about? The Lock and Dam. I'd go up there with Kathy C.
Yourself.
And we'd have my hatchback car. I would hope it would start after we were finished. And it's my senior year, and I lasted 4 seconds. Their tongue locking gets interrupted when they hear a nearby scream. They leave to investigate and find a dead woman's body impaled in a tree above. I love how they just don't really give a crap. People now, when they see bodies, are like, oh, it's so common now that you can't be so scared, I guess. You can't go, damn, who's that? But you can, it could be like, oh my God. It could be I think it could be a little more like, this is a dead body.
That's on the director, to be honest, not to be too mean, but you do the first take and that's your action. You have to go in and be like, guys, this is a dead body and you're stumbling upon it for the first time ever. I think even if Jimmy Olsen screamed, that would have been funny.
Because he hasn't seen a dead body. He should have been like, oh my gosh. I agree.
Yeah.
The next day on the Ken farm, Clark talks to Martha about the upcoming charity ball and not wanting to go to avoid Lana and Lex. Over in the Luthor mansion, Lana confronts Lex about her newfound tabloid fame and his revolving door of women. I like how honest he is. Lex tells her he's struggling to fight against the playboy nature to be with the Kansas girl next door and pushes them to take their relationship to the next level. I thought that was a good scene,
I mean, she's got a lot of character in it. I thought she killed it.
Yeah, I think Kristen's been doing really well. She's been they've been giving her something to do. It's not just angst, teenage angst and heartbreak. It's more about new beginnings and this and that.
She's coming into her own.
Yeah.
The next day in the Talon loft, Chloe gives fart. Whoa,
Fart. Chloe gives fart.
There's a reason, because the next word was going to start with an F. The next day in the Talon loft, Chloe gives Clark the 411 about the murderous tree in the forest. They hastily claim it must have something to do with kryptonite and are now hot on the trail. While Chloe is rooming in the Talon, Lois is on the farm applying for new jobs after nearly dying while being Martha's campaign manager. While doing so, she is interrupted by Oliver Queen, who stops by the Kent farm to drop off his pledge to Martha Kent personally. Lois, not knowing who he is, gives him a couple bucks and an attaboy as she shoos him away. Martha later lets Lois know she blew it with the billionaire CEO.
I like how she's like how is Lois supposed to know? And Martha's just really hard on her. She's like, you know who that was? I'm like, well, why don't you tell me that, I guess she didn't expect him to be so hot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story about this episode that I remembered. We spent 3 days in that forest, and it was 2 hours away from where we all lived. And I remember saying, why don't I just stay in the trailer tonight? Like, why don't I just stay out here? And they're like, well, it's insurance issues. But remember Rob? Was it Rob Mayer?
Mayor?
Yeah. And he's like, let me make a few calls. And we had security guys at the time on set. And he's like, that would be great. I said, why? He goes, because I have to stay with you the whole time. I'm going to make so much money. And I was like, all right, we're going to do this. And so Rob was like, we figured it out. And so for 3 nights, I stayed in the forest in my trailer, and it was great. It saved me so much time.
Do you think Rob Mayer's still with us?
I think so.
He was a big smoker. I hope he's still with us. I really liked him.
He was a great guy. He was one of those guys who understood the business, but was also creative.
Look up Rob Mayer, Maier.
Would he be on IMDb?
Yeah, maybe Rob Mayer, Maier. Put Smallville.
I don't know if he ended up being a co-executive producer, I think.
Yeah.
But
art department,
he was great.
Smallville.
Yeah. All right.
He's worked on something in 2022.
Okay, he's alive. Clark and Chloe head out to the woods and explore the active crime scene. As Clark supersedes around the forest, he runs into a super suspicious park ranger who's just by herself, wearing shorts and just middle of nowhere. Gloria. She talks about the wonders of the vast emptiness of the forest, its lack of witnesses. And while Clark inconspicuously uses X-ray vision to identify a trapped man, I love how he's just like, oh, there's a body right there.
I know.
Yeah. She's like, what? Okay.
Well, it's not the first time he's had to inconspicuously say that he saw something using his X-ray.
I mean,
he's done it a few times.
I guess there's not enough time, but if he just walked around for a second and they cut to and he looked something, then he turned again, just another, not just immediately, oh, look at that under all that debris. How did you see that? I don't know.
He could just pratfall into the body like, oops, oh no.
I just fell on this. It's a body. Damn, who is that? They take the kid to Kent Medical, and Clark, Chloe, and Jimmy decide to snoop through his medical files to figure out what happened in an attempt to break any journalistic integrity. Jimmy begins snapping photos until Clark tells him, chill, bud. And when Jimmy leaves, Clark tells Chloe that he believes Lex may be involved because a Luther greenhouse runs near the Lone Pine Forest. Chloe tells him he's starting to sound like the boy who cried wolf, but encourages him to pursue his suspicions.
Clark heads to the greenhouse and observes plants with similar seeds to the vine found in the Lone Pine murder scene. Lex catches Clark flexing his green thumb and tells him that his greenhouse isn't a part of some evil plan. Clark tells Lex that he is a bad guy deep down, and soon Lana will see him for who he really is.
Oh, so
that wasn't very nice.
So now the plant has ulterior motives too, Clark.
Yeah, literally.
There was a good line there. I was just like,
And better late than ever, Lex finally tells Clark he's not allowed to visit unannounced. He is no longer welcome at Luther Mansion, popping in.
I didn't like how they added an ADR line. It kind of annoyed me because it was just like, you're not allowed here anymore. And then it's like, then they added the line like you didn't know that he should go. So they added like, you could see yourself out or you could go. It's like you could just end that scene where you're not allowed here anymore. Cut to Clark's face, cut to Lex, cut the scene. Yeah. You don't need to see him leave. You don't need to see. I hate when they do that. I was like, gosh, it's so stupid.
Yeah. Lana stops by the Talon to meet with Chloe for some much needed girl time. Lana vents about her new life in the mansion, how Lex is bothered by the Clark baggage she is carrying, and how she is worried about losing her identity by cozying up with Luther.
Yeah. Against his better judgment, Jimmy heads back out to Lone Pine Forest to snap some shots to impress Chloe. Instead, he runs into Park Ranger Glory of PRG, who pushes him to the floor, mounts him, and then vine blasts his mouth. How embarrassing is that? At this point, what sort of motivation do you think this lady has? What is she doing with these bodies? And why isn't she more conspicuous? What is she doing?
She's spawning. It's like Alien. She's trying to just,
She's living
procreate.
off the blood of these people.
It was a lot.
Yeah, why did she need? Why did he get a big branch down his throat?
She's Kryptonian, right?
You just got
Like, that's
Michelle
the whole
Branch.
thing, is she?
She was in the Phantom Zone. We find that out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but if
she's
you're in the
Kryptonian.
Phantom Zone and you come out and you go, I got this idea, I'll be a park ranger. And I'll kill people out here and bring so much attention to it.
By the way, the irony is I need humans to spawn, so I'm going to put myself in a forest.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, man? Over in Metropolis, we see Oliver Queen casually busting out a handstand. His aerobics get interrupted when Lois barges in with a peace treaty for her rude blunder earlier. Oliver teases and toys with Lois, but offers his support for Martha without a shirt on the entire scene on the condition of Lois attending the ball as his date. So then Clark and Chloe head back to the hospital to follow up on the man with seeds in his stomach, only to find that the seeds have begun sprouting as vines, and they cover the hospital room. The nurses shriek in panic as the xenomorph vines escape from his chest. Clark rushes out of the hospital when he finds out that the park ranger he met earlier is an imposter cosplaying in place of the newly found dead ranger.
It's fun. I just read a book
That was
had the same plot as like plants like growing out of people. It's called The Tainted Cup if anyone wants to read it. Literally the same thing. Anyway, go ahead, Clark.
No thanks.
Oh, I was just going to say that image when they walk into the hospital room, that was a good surprise. I wasn't expecting anything like that. Yeah.
Clark arrives in the forest and tells Gloria to go back to wherever she came from. He did say that, which turns out to be Krypton. She eventually explains how she was able to escape the Phantom Zone thanks to Clark opening the gateway a couple episodes prior. But instead of thanking him for helping her escape eternal anguish, she decides to use her nature powers to bind Clark.
Yeah, it was a nice little
big side
throwing
song.
you around and stuff. Yeah.
That night, inside Dark Thursday benefit ball, not Halloween party, the crowd is serenaded by the All-American Rejects
Get better than me.
for a
I can't explain what you can't explain. And all you want.
It went on for a while.
It ends tonight. It ends tonight. I kind of like that song.
I couldn't do best the hair.
It was very...
I smoked a joint in their dressing room with them.
Really?
Yep. They were really cool.
Are they cool? They seem cool.
I'd never heard of them. And then I was like, oh, this song's cool.
Yeah.
Hung out with them a little bit. They were nice.
Yeah, there was some cross promotion, very heavy-handed.
Yes. Very.
So they were serenaded by the All-American Rejects as Lex, dressed as Mark Antony, not the Latin pop star, reunites with Lana, dressed as Cleopatra.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, did she look stunning. Man, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. Like, holy crap, beauty. And then I looked at my bald ass and I was like, what is he doing with her?
You were strapping. Elsewhere in the party, we see Oliver dressed as Robin Hood, chaperoning
Yeah, wait
Lois
a
Lane.
minute. He's Robin Hood.
Yeah.
He shows her some archery on the roof, shooting the can. And she's not, she's a journalist, an investigative reporter, and she's not piecing this crap together.
She's smitten.
Yeah, but come on, man. Yeah, we got to find out somebody who knows archery really well. Well, maybe the guy you went out with today.
How many archers are there in Metropolis?
What's wrong with you?
You can't arch in a big city. There's only got to be one guy.
Anyway, chaperoning Lois Lane through the party until they bump into Lex, and we obviously see tension and unspoken grievances between the two. Outside the party, yeah, that was kind of like, It was a little abrupt, but it set up a little bit animosity and things.
I like there's a history between you two. It makes sense.
Yeah, we went to school
story-wise.
together.
Yeah.
Outside the party, Chloe frantically rushes into the vast forest in search of where Clark would be. Luckily, he's right at the entrance, and Chloe is able to free him from the botanical stranglehold by exposing the vines to their weakness, electrocution.
Clark leaves to confront Gloria, Gloria, to prevent her from vine blasting anyone else in the mouth. As Gloria, Gloria, begins to vine bind him again, Clark uses heat vision to trigger the sprinklers inside the greenhouse, thus causing the nearby greenhouse lights to electrocute Gloria and zap her out of there. But those vines must have been expensive CGI. There was a lot of them.
There was a lot of vines.
So you couldn't have a giant super fight, I don't think.
Chloe heads to save Jimmy after her request to defibrillate Jimmy or turned down by EMTs. Chloe takes things in her own hands and jolts the photographer in the chest to kill the vines inside and save his life.
Mm-hmm.
I like having Aaron around.
I do too.
I think, I didn't get to see much of him during the show, but like he adds a little fun. Like a little cute.
Well,
fun.
he's endearing. He has a way of you care about him. It's great.
Back outside the party, Oliver attempts to thank Lois for the night with a kiss. She requests that he nail an Olympic-length archery shot instead of sealing the deal with an easy hit. Oliver decides to showboat and pierce the tab of the soda can,
which she didn't notice.
She didn't notice it. Back at Luther Mansion, Cleopatra and Mark Antony arrive home barefoot from their night of partying. He's glad that Lana is throwing caution to the wind and falling into his evil plans of seduction, hanging out with his.
You did something in this scene which I've never seen you do before. I think you got a little comfortable because at one point you go, "Hey, so," and you kind of when you were moving, excuse me, from one point to another, I was like, "Oh, that's not Lex, that's Michael."
Maybe I was smitten. Maybe I was smitten.
Yeah, a lot of your upper body in that fireplace scene.
Yeah, I had to work out a lot.
A lot of shots.
I lost that. She begins undressing Lex down to his shirt and going medieval with one another. They begin going medieval with one another in the office. While others had a ball that night in Smallville, Clark was in the barn tossing his against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
He sits alone, telescopeless. Say that word 3 times. Telescopeless, telescopeless. It wasn't bad. I didn't think the episode was terrible. I thought that whole storyline with the vines was really repulsive. But there were some good moments, right? Nobody? Okay. I
feel like
what, Bryce?
I said, it makes me wonder if they do Freak of the Week through the whole series. Like in season 10, is there still Freak of the Week?
I'm sure. They got to fill it with sometimes. They just can't, too many stories.
It sounds like the Phantom Zone opened up more opportunity for Freak of the Week storylines because they're like, oh, you opened this portal for some more super freaks.
Closing thoughts. Is the new Freak of the Week model going to be Phantom Zone escapees?
Oh, probably.
Escapees?
Escapees.
I can't read. Do we have another love triangle brewing? Or perhaps 3? Clark, Lana, Lex, Clark, Lois, Oliver, Clark, Chloe, Jimmy?
I don't know. Clark seems pretty alone right now.
Yeah, it was sad because we knew Lana and Lex were getting together, and then we saw him sort of watch Jimmy and Chloe get together. We also saw him watch like Lois and Oliver get together, and then he's just sort of beating his ball in the loft.
Yeah.
And then he tried to get with the park ranger, but yeah, she was evil.
I do remember that scene in the loft because I think I just watched a Steve McQueen movie. I forget the name of
Bullet.
it. Oh, the Great Escape, where he's throwing the ball against
in the prison.
And the scene was Clark stands or sits alone in the loft. And I was like, I couldn't just like sit there. And I was like, what if I had a ball and I was just, because I was referencing the film.
Yeah.
And they ran and somebody got a ball and it was that quick. Just to give Clark something to do, just to show the monotony of it.
That outside shooting, it's like when you're shooting exteriors, for a couple days, boy, is that exhausting because it's the comfort of like going to your trailer, the comfort of food right there, the comfort of like, it's just like everybody's just brutally working in the forest and the conditions, the lighting changes with, with the sun and this and that. So It's a lot, especially at night, and in Vancouver, it's cold. It was cold. You could see their breath in the beginning when they're running to go make out, that couple. You could see Lois's breath. So I think it's really cold, and they're supposed to be going, in the woods or the lake to play hooky.
It's sort of a gift and a curse. It gets disorienting, but in some ways, the creativeness takes over. And that's for the crew as well. They're working on uneven ground. Everything has to be picked up and moved around. It's not a set environment where everybody knows where everything's going to be. I mean, people work really hard on exteriors.
Interesting things of note. The Robin Hood costume Oliver Queen wears matches the Silver Age Green Arrow costume in the comics and cartoon, something Tom and I would never know.
Uh-huh.
Lex tells Lana that before her, he had never asked any of the women that he had dated to move in with him. That's not true. Helen Bryce in season 2. And also, didn't the English woman?
Kelly Brock?
Yeah.
No. Was it
Kelly Brook?
She never lived.
I think she did live with me. Remember the mansion where the ghost in the mansion? She was staying there. Maybe she didn't live there. But Helen Bryce moved in. Lana attends the ball dressed as Egyptian Queen Cleopatra. This is a nod to Adventure Comics 183, where Lana dresses up and pretends to be Cleopatra.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And Amber McDonald, Gloria, co-starred with Justin Hartley in the Aquaman pilot as Aquaman's friend and business partner Eva.
That's right.
Talkville is brought to you by Mint Mobile. I don't know about you, Tom, but I like keeping my money where I can see it. Unfortunately, traditional big wireless carriers also seem to like keeping my money too. After years of overpaying for wireless, I finally got fed up from crazy high wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks that actually cost more in the long run, and I switched to Mint Mobile.
Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages.
Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month.
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/talkville. That's mintmobile.com/talkville. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5 GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for 3 months only, then full price plans options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com for details. Talkville is brought to you by AG1. Do we really need to say more about these guys? I mean, we've been using them for so long, and it's really helped us. And, when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, and I know it's a little later down in the game, it's like, this is something you can start like today that would change your whole routine. And if you want to do something healthier, if you're not eating well, if you're not sleeping well, say, you know what? I'm going to wake up. I'm going to put 1 scoop of AG1, which is filled with probiotics, prebiotics, minerals, vitamins, all that, in a glass of water and stir it. It tastes delicious. And know that you did something good for yourself. We have a lot of patrons that reach out and say they love AG1, and so do I.
Well, I think you make a good point too. It's like today's the day. Like, don't put it off. Start today. Like, you can do it today.
Yeah,
that sounds redundant.
No, you're right.
It's like, just start taking it. Like, it's going to help you.
Just start doing it. I mean, for us, I know it's energy levels, focus. I just feel like if I don't do it, I'm dragging. And, look, it's never too late to create a new healthy habit for 2025. So try AG1 for yourself. It's something I've actually been able to stay consistent with, and that's why we've been partnering with AG1 for so long. And AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/talkville to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/talkville to start your new year on a healthier note. And now it's time for our top tier patron to come on and talk about the show. And we love her. She's awesome. Please welcome little Lisa Williams.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Tom. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Hi, Bryce. Not bad with you guys.
I'm good. You're in. I want to say Vancouver or Toronto. Where are you?
No, I'm not in Toronto.
Where are you?
I'm in Ontario, Canada.
Ontario. Well, that's why I said Toronto, because Toronto's in Ontario.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Well,
Hey.
and Aaron Ashmore is in the episode, and he lives in Toronto, so maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, he's Canadian.
Literally. So,
Yeah.
when did you become a Smallville fan, and what do you love about it?
So it was my friend Jason that actually introduced me to the show. He's a big Superman fan, and he's been a fan of the show since it aired. So he's watched all of it. And he was bugging me for years and years to watch it because I watched like Arrow and Flash and like those
Before
were
Smallville?
Wow. So you went.
yeah, because
you
those were my
rewound.
first comic book. Because I was never really into comic book shows and stuff like that. Like I watched like Doctor Who, and I was into video games and stuff like that. So it was all like new to me. Anyways, so he kept on bugging me to go, to watch the show. And it wasn't until 2019 when
What?
you guys were announced for Fan Expo Canada that I was like, okay, I guess I should watch the show now because my friend's going to want to go to this panel and I'm not going to know anything of what's going on whatsoever. So I started watching it in like a couple months before the con, and I was able to get through it. And it was actually funny because when I met Tom, he asked me like, how long have you been a Smallville fan and that? And I said, well, actually, I'm kind of new to it. And then I said, I watched it like in the last couple months and stuff. And he's like, you watched the whole thing? And I said, yeah. And I laughed at his response because his response was, do you have a job? Do you work at all?
Why did you do that?
Like, how did you have all the time to watch it? Yeah.
Well, because like I would watch it on my like lunch at work and my breaks and like after work. And I was very invested in it.
You were.
So I was like watching it constantly in that because it was so like I really got into it and that. And it was funny because my friend, he had messaged me and he was like, so how you liking it? And I was like, I absolutely am loving it. And then I told him like my favorite character is like Lex Luthor because it was just because like I watched John Cryer's version and like I have seen like a little bit of the Superman like movies and stuff like that, like when I was a little like younger, but like I don't really remember them. So like I seen Gene Hackman in that, but your portrayal was just so different because it was before he became the evil villain that he is.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, there was the writing and the, we talk about this all the time, but you're only as good as the people around you and all that. So, But thanks. What does Smallville mean to you now that you've seen it?
I just love the story. Like, it's just so like beautifully written. I mean, I know there's some duds through the different episodes and that I am not going to say it's a perfect show because there's no such thing as a perfect show.
Right.
But it has a lot of heart and it has a lot of meaning. And it's a story of Clark Kent before he became Superman. And we never saw that. Like seeing like that after I watched like Arrow and like I even watched some of like Supergirl and stuff like that. Seeing this, it was really cool just to see the difference of how much Clark went through to get to that part of being Superman.
I love that.
Yeah, he had to learn a lot about himself.
Yes. Yeah, he had to learn a lot about himself and he had to go through a lot of hardships and he had to deal with a lot of like death and just like life choices and that. And that's something that we deal with every day. So it's like it really relates to like even me, like it even relates to a lot of people because of the choices he has to make. It's a lot of us, we have to make the same choices in our daily lives.
If you had to give a rating to this episode, WITHER, that we're talking about, what would you give it? Be honest.
It's not one of my favorites. It's okay.
You didn't like the makeout scene with Lana and Lex?
That's actually my favorite scene.
Oh, well, there you go.
Maybe it'll be
I-
Ryan's favorite scene.
Could be
But
Ryan's.
the thing is like I did like I actually wrote like a bunch of notes about it because like I just rewatched it yesterday. But I did like the introduction to Oliver Queen.
Yeah, that was cool.
I liked how we got to see him for the first time, even though Lois was a little bit, I was like, her mistaking him for like some mail carrier. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, well, Michael made the same comment. He's like, how does she not know? But I think she's so smitten, perhaps. I don't know. I couldn't get past
Maybe.
his hair. His hair was crazy.
Well, and the thing is like I was just like, how? Like, I don't know. Like, it's because he just the way like he came to the door and then she's like, oh, and like here's a tip. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's just like, what
I
is
know.
that? But yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. So you're a patron. You're a top tier patron for Talkville and for my podcast Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Mhm.
And what do you love mostly about Patron?
I just love like the community and I just love like the interactions that everybody has on there. I've made some friends on there and I even have like a little Patreon family. They know who they are. And they're just so sweet and so supportive and we're so supportive of each other and I'm just so grateful for them and that they're a part of my life. And I really have to thank you, Michael, for like doing Patreon and that. I mean, it's gonna be 5 years of Inside You
Wow.
Patreon this
Crazy.
month. It's crazy and it's absolutely amazing. And like people have made like friends in that
Yeah.
and like I'm excited because I'm going to be meeting some of these people when I go to Chicago
Yes.
next year. So
Oh, right on. When we were in New Jersey, we found out too late that a lot of the people got together and had a dinner together. And I think it was
Yeah.
like Sunday night. And I thought it was just so heartwarming that there is this community because of all
Mhm.
this. It's great.
I just wanted to say something to Ryan. I absolutely love your Warp Zone videos. And one of my absolute favorite ones is the one from Final Fantasy 15 that you guys sing Stand By Me and you're dressed up as Noctis.
Oh my God. That's a deep cut.
Deep
Thank
cut
you.
for Ryan.
Thank you.
And
That's
Ryan,
nice.
where can you find these videos, Ryan?
Oh, youtube.com/the
cuts.
warp zone.
The Warp
Or-
Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also on Instagram and TikTok these days.
Follow Ryan.
Yeah.
Give the guy a break. Come on.
He's amazing. I hope you're going to Chicago, Ryan.
Yes, I plan on going to Chicago.
He's going.
Yay.
Little Lisa, we love you. Thanks for being here and thanks for being
Wow.
so supportive.
Love you guys too. Thanks for
Of
having
course.
me.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Robbie, here we go.
Talkville Hotline.
Hey fellas, this is Robbie from Kansas. By season 6, episode 3, have you guys noticed there's a giant tonal shift and the show feels completely different? And I was wondering if you guys think it's because of the CW change or if it's just a different vibe. Thanks guys. Love
I
what you
think
do.
I think the show opens up a little with new characters and Metropolis and the Daily Planet more and more adult oriented at times. It just feels like it's a little more adult, right?
I always say that, I think Smallville is actually two different series. After season 5, it actually turns into a different show.
Yeah.
I can sense that, yeah.
Cliff Richardson. Mr. Cliff Richardson.
Hey guys, it's Chief Richardson, your Denver, Colorado, calling about season 6,
Chief.
episode 3, Wither.
Chief.
So I always have this reluctance and ambivalence with rewatching late season 5 and season 6 because on the one hand, the story arcs are so good and it's like a totally different show, but on the other hand, you've got this Clark, Lana, Lex love triangle that I still just, even now, find so cringy. And with this episode, there was definitely no turning back. Michael, I'm wondering how you felt about it personally then and now as a viewer. Tom, did you have any feelings about what it meant for the characters? That's it, Michael. You've clearly been hitting the gym for that ending scene, and it paid off. Thanks for doing the show, guys.
Yeah, I need to go back to the gym.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. I will say that it was refreshing, but at the same time, while I was filming, I was like, I don't believe that Lex would ever get with Lana. I just don't think Lana would get with him. He would get with her maybe, but like, I don't know. It just didn't make a lot of sense, but I had to sell it and we both had to sell it. And maybe she finds him charming and interesting, and she doesn't think he's lying to her, but like she knows so much history, Lana, that I felt like she would start a clean slate and go for someone that actually is not Lex or Clark.
I kept waiting for Lana to stumble across the door that is the entrance to the Clark Museum with his headshot.
Oh yeah,
and the car.
Jeez. Here's John. I chipped my tooth and I have to go to the dentist. It sucks.
Hey, Michael and Tom. This is John from Yorktown, New York. I'm calling for season 6, episode 3, WITHER. Guys, this season is the introduction to Justin Hartley. I was just curious about what you guys thought of him at first. How much did you know about his character? What was the initial time that he was going to be on the show? All that stuff. Thanks, guys.
At first I was like, oh, great, another good-looking guy in the show. But then I met him and I was like, this guy is so cool, so easy to get along with, a professional, loved him immediately and was happy to have him on the show. And he just added another element.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great addition to the show. I mean, here's a guy who just did a pilot for Aquaman that didn't get picked up. Now he gets on a show that's already been going for a while. And he couldn't have been more prepared and more happy and more generous to work with. I know Erica got along with him. We all got along with him really well. And then, years later, now he's on Tracker and he's killing it. So that's just the crazy thing about this business.
Yeah, he's awesome. Lindsay.
Hi, guys. This is Lindsay from Miami, Florida. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but that scene in the hospital where the vines spread out of the kid after he went to the makeout point or whatever it was, I thought the reactions of the hotel staff and even Clark and Chloe were so nonchalant. It was very bizarre. I was wondering if you guys felt the same way. And I really love the show and keep up the great work. All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
As Ryan would say, I put on my suspenders of disbelief.
I found a pair of suspenders in my closet. I should bring them.
You should wear them. You should write suspension of disbelief, suspenders of disbelief on them. But, there's a lot of those moments where you could have more reaction. It's in the direction. It's in what they want. Who knows? Maybe the director got the reactions, but they thought it was too much. And at this point in the series, everybody's seen so much death and crazy shit that they just allow it to keep going. Michael Caine doesn't blank.
Hey guys, Michael here from Bendigo, Australia. Do you guys think Clark was actually interested in Gloria, or was he only flirting due to him feeling alone as Chloe and Lana are all coupled off now?
I was interested in Gloria.
I think she was a nice surprise to find in the woods.
It's like, hey, all right. Hi. What are you doing here?
But yeah, I think it was on purpose. Because you did see everybody else getting coupled up, and then suddenly Clark is lonely, and then he's like, "Oh, who's this?"
Oh, maybe he met a park
babe
ranger.
In the woods. Yeah,
turns out she's a crazy park ranger.
Yep, and he had to kill her.
Yep, Logan. What's up? Here's Logan. Old Logan. Logan. That's Bryce's wife's name. Logan.
In Talkville, this is Logan from California. This episode had the band the All American Rejects, who I loved as a kid. My question is, what are your favorite bands that you've gotten to meet through acting? Thanks.
I would say U2. U2's a band they had a Live in Boston DVD, which I think came out right around this time, that I used to just keep playing on the TV in the trailer. Like every time I came into the trailer, it would just be on. And it's a really great concert to watch on the DVD.
But he says favorite band that you've met. I mean, I met Lou Graham. He was on Inside You with Michael Rosenbaum, lead singer to Foreigner. That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Did Tom actually meet you too?
No.
Oh.
No. I actually had tickets once in Vancouver. They were coming, and I did this horrible movie called The Fog, and one of the producers knew Bono. And while we were shooting The Fog, I don't know how it came up, but he was like, "Yeah, let's go." And I ended up having to shoot Smallville that night, and I couldn't go. I was kind of still a little bummed about it.
I met Bruce Springsteen, and he was really cool about it. I don't really love his music.
I met Zach Brown.
I don't know Zach. I know of Zach Brown.
Yeah.
I met what's her name? Old time singer, black. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life has shown you?
Oh, I know the song. I don't know who it is though. I met Michael Rosenbaum once.
You met the band Sunspin. Here's Shane.
Hey guys, this is Shane from Michigan. This is for Michael. Since Lex is kind of starting to embrace the evil role more, making jokes about sinister plots and whatnot, did you ever think they were over the top and forced? Did you ever have a disagreement with the writers about it? Thanks. Bye.
Again, I've talked about this in the past, man, Shane. Sometimes if I thought, this is too dark, it's too on the nose, it's too, I'd call Al or Miles and they'd say, we know you're going to play it like more subtle and ambiguous. And I was like, okay. There were some moments where I'm like, oh, this is too evil. It's coming out of nowhere. And, we'd talk about it. But most of the time, I just kind of just did my thing.
I also think the biggest things is like, why is Lex underneath rain towers in the middle of the night with his shirt off? That's why do I have to freeze?
Yeah, certain things like that. Here's a text from Crystal. Did you think it was corny or fun for Smallville to play into Make Out Lane horror story arch? I just wouldn't put it past them. I thought it was just like, we haven't done that, so let's do that. So at least it was original.
Well, I thought it was cute that Jimmy's sort of like, he thinks he found a scoop on a story, so he's there to check it out, and it's just kind of like, here? I thought it was endearing.
It was funny how they're making out finally, and then they missed the whole couple running into the woods. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We always talk about therapy and how much it helps everyone. I know Ryan uses BetterHelp. So many of my friends
We
use
were just
BetterHelp.
talking about it with Glenn Winter.
Yeah. I mean, mental
In a
health
sense.
is so freaking important. If you haven't tried it and you're nervous about it, this is why BetterHelp is great. It's entirely online. And if you're teamed up with a therapist, and if you don't like your therapist, it's not awkward. You just get a new therapist. So it's not like you're walking in going, I have to quit. It's pretty easy. Look, what are some of your relationship green flags? Listen to this. Maybe it's when your partner thoughtfully listens or anticipates your needs. We often hear about red flags we should avoid, but what if we focused more on looking for green flags in friends and partners? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags, actively practice them in your relationships, and embody the green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, building a friendship, or just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. Therapy with BetterHelp can teach you positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/talkville to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkville. Talkville is brought to you by Quince. I got to tell you, Tom, I got this $50 cashmere sweater, and it is amazing. Where can you get a cashmere sweater for $50? It's unbelievable. Elevating my style used to mean breaking the bank, but with Quince, I get high-end, versatile pieces at prices I can actually afford. Now I can upgrade my style by snagging killer luxury essentials that sync with my vibe and my wallet.
Quince has all the must-haves like Mongolian cashmere crew neck sweaters from $50, iconic 100% leather jackets, and versatile flow knit activewear.
The best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/talkville for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/talkville to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/talkville. All right, we got Rosenbaum rating system. We're going to start out with Ryonian.
Heater.
A heater for Ryan. Bryce.
Rosenbaum rating.
Sorry, yeah, I agree. Heater.
Tom.
I don't know if I've done this. Can I give it a 0.5?
Well, it'd be a half a rose.
Yeah.
All right, half a rose, because I saw the effort that was put into it, and I want to give a little of that.
I'll give it half a rose.
By the way, I think within about 5 minutes, I knew that's what I was going to rate.
And by the way, the second you meet Gloria, you know she's the bad one.
Yeah.
She comes out of nowhere and it's like, hey. And you're like, oh, there she is. There's no secret. There's no mystery. It's like, come on. It could have been like there's a whole bunch of like park rangers out there and people, and he bumps into her. She goes, oh, he goes, hey, excuse me. Or something where it's more organic, but I guess they don't have much time.
Well, she also didn't seem too concerned about the situation at all.
Death and save count. 4 dead. Gloria kills the couple and a ranger. Clark zaps Gloria. 2 saved. Chloe saves Clark and Jimmy through 3 episodes. 8 dead, 10 saved. Series 185 dead, 200 saved. Ryan's favorite scene.
Oh, right. Yes.
Oh, boy. Brother, where art thou?
Nugget.
I think little Lisa called it. I think she called it.
I don't think so.
Oh, did she? Scene 1. Lex gives Clark the business in the greenhouse. Scene 2. Clark defeats Gloria, also in the greenhouse. And scene 3. Oliver shoots the can.
Oh, those are kind of 3 lame scenes. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with A, the first one. Tom,
I'm gonna go with shoot the can.
The first one.
Yes, I got it.
I kind of liked in this episode how pissed Lex was at Clark the whole time. Like he in the conversation he has with Lon about their relationship, he's like, I'm done like answering for Clark's mistakes.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Things have come to
and
a
then
head.
he confronts me. He's like, hey, don't come here unannounced anymore, because that was a plot point through so many episodes. And he's like, hey, fucking stop.
Yeah. You know what my biggest pet peeve is of this whole episode? I don't like when Jimmy Olsen calls him CK.
It's the same number of syllables.
It just bothers me. Hey, CK. It's just, I know it's comic book shit, but I'm like, oh, God. It's corny. All right, that's it for the episode. Stick around next week as we crown a new queen and talk about season 6, episode 4, Arrow. Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at Talkville Podcast or Talkville Pod. Show the support by joining patreon.com/Talkville. There's a new tier. And if you want more information like merch from the show or hotline number, you can find that in the description. We love you. Remember, folks.
Always hold on to Smallville.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And now it's time to read the top tiers. Patreon.com/Talkville. And we'll get going. We love you all. Thank you for supporting us. Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, Little Lisa, ThomasTomTurner, Shane W, Betsy D, Avi P, Ray Harada, Karen Apple M, 99 more, Lalani N, Brett G, always hold on to Smallville, Charlie T, Garrett W, Bob K.
Tom N, Jason W, Lana rhymes with banana W, Nancy D, Brian G, Grape Jelly 817, interesting. YVR Grips, Amanda R, Teddy 127, Michael P. I'm a big fan of Michael P. I just want to say that. Michael P, Ryan R, Randy B, and Craig G.
Jor-El, Heather and Greg, Grether. I made Talkville say butts. Brian H, Eric K, Clark's mom, or Clark's M. Kristen B, Jeff and Nan, Weber, Darth, Achilles, Finky, early is on time. Damn, who's that? Jeanette E, General Zod, Jam and J, Doug R, Carlos C, and Tommy Z, Boston 68.
Ken, the Limerick guy, Corey L, Mr. Home Arcade, Claire M, D Brown, Karen Era. I always mess up.
I know.
Karen Era, Jules M, who we just spoke to, Eldon Supremo, Brian P, McBurts, Ginger Moose, Christoph S, Michelle M, and 1.21 gigawatts, Leah W.
Amanda Lynn, Sebastian F, Wolfie, Matthew and Lincoln B, Charlene A, Marion Louise L, Caesar G, Cindy C, Shannon Fofanon, Tina E, Matt Maverick, Jen T, Randy S, Cassie B, Brad A, Felicia R, Danny Mo Mirabel, Mary K, Sophie L, Rachel D, Stephen Nate Danger, When You're Rich, You Aren't Crazy or Eccentric, Rosenbaum fan, Sammy Sharman.
Carrie Ann, the Alexander Castle, Daryl E, Jenny B76, Anna B, Ms. M, Emily M, Jeffrey K, Katya C, previously on Smallville, Keith B, Kookie Kareem, Libertariat, Great Horse, Danny Z from Cleveland, Biagio C, Lady J, and David L.
Madison H, as told by Helen, Kelowna A, Natalia, Dr. J, Six Ship, Six Sheep, Six Sheep, Sick.
Oh boy.
Dr. G and Dr. T, Kryptonite, Brandon C, Flirtatious B, Per Six, Kurgan K, Naman L, Naaman L, Smallville for Life, Bobby, I almost said Booby, Bobby B, Kendrick FCC Storm, Stacy L, One Brother Daryl, Melanie P, Starla S, Charlie M, Cheyenne F, Bobby and Isa from Queens, A.G. Sison, Heather H, Tom and Michael's friend Mickey, Allison C, Karen H, or Sierran, I think it's Karen H, Jill and Brett, The Real Chucky B, Hubs, Real, what is this? Real Diosmar?
They
Damn
do
it,
this on
sorry.
purpose.
I can't even spell it. Real Diosmar. Una, happy birthday. Eduardo, we love you. Thank you so much for helping us out with the show. And if we messed your name up, spell it better, phonetically, literally phonetically. We love you. Thanks.